Okay, so now I'm going to talk to you about the election of 1824, which is also historically known as the corrupt bargain, which I will explain why. So as you remember, I said that Andrew Jackson was inaugurated for the first time in 1829, meaning his first presidential win was in 1828. But in the election prior to that, in 1824, he also ran. Interestingly enough, he won the popular vote, but was unable to win the majority of the electorate vote. So he was very, very popular throughout the US because of his, as I mentioned before, he won the Battle of New Orleans, and he had great popularity as a general, and he was also claiming to be the common person's president, right? He was the candidate that wanted to represent the people because he was the people. He could relate to them, and therefore they should elect him. And people were going for this, right? So, unfortunately, although he did win the popular vote, right? He was not able to, and the electorate vote, but he did not gain a majority of the electorate votes because it was split. So, because there were many people running. John Quincy Adams was running, and he's in the peach color. Um, Henry Clay was running, and he's in the orange colored. Crawford is blue, and then finally Andrew Jackson is the green color. So they had split the electoral votes 4 ways, making no one win a majority. And the rules of the Constitution at the time was that if this did happen where no one won the majority of the votes, of the electoral votes, that it would go to the House of Representatives to decide. Well, Henry Clay at the time was the leader of the House of Representatives. He chose to support John Quincy Adams, who is pictured here. And therefore the House of Representatives elected John Quincy Adams. Not so surprisingly, soon after, Henry Clay became John Quincy Adams' Secretary of State. And people called this the corrupt bargain because people seem to think that there was some backroom discussion that led Clay to support Adams, and that if he did this, John Quincy Adams would then make him Secretary of State. People were pretty upset by this, and that's why it's commonly known as the corrupt bargain. Although John Quincy Adams did win, his presidency was tainted by the situation, and he was really not able to do much because his power was minimal because people didn't trust what happened. John Quincy Adams, interestingly enough, goes after he's president and becomes a member of the Senate and does some really interesting things for abolition and ending of slavery. But his presidency was really quite tainted. And throughout his 4 years as president, people really were rallying behind Andrew Jackson, who then was easily elected in 1828. Okay, so now I'm going to play you a song called The Corrupt Bargain. And this one has some really, so Andrew Jackson's not in this song. Clay and Quincy Adams and a few other more elite part of the government at the time are characterized in this song, and it's pretty quick but really funny. It is one of my favorite songs because of how funny it is. So I hope you enjoy. All right.